exploration of conscious reality creation and living the best lives we can for ourselves. I'm MJ Bleehart, writer, blogger, editor, and 21st century philosopher. This is episode 40. A little discomfort is good for you. What am I talking about when I talk about discomfort? Well, we live in a society that is almost positively in love with the idea of comfort. We want desperately to be comfortable. And because of that, we spend a lot of our time in what is easily called the comfort zone. The comfort zone is that place where you are happy to be comfortable and you like the way your life is. Or, more specifically, it's not usually that you like the way your life is, it's that the things that you have happening in your life are familiar. They're comfortable. They feel right, and they are what you think you need to be and do and have. This is oftentimes false. It is an equivalency of comfort that is, it's kind of hard to say. It just sort of sucks you in. It gets in the way of actually living. A lot of people believe that what they've got is good enough because we have come to accept that we live in a society of lack, that we live in a society of scarcity, that there's just not enough to go around, that we don't have a sufficient amount of choose whatever you want, energy, fuel, food, money. We believe that there's just not enough of any of these things, that there is not enough good to go around in this world. The thing is, that's a lie. It's a really big lie. It is an artifice that the human race has created, largely because there are certain people that are in power who want us to believe that without them, we got a whole lot of nothing. The truth is that we live in an abundant universe. There is more than enough of everything for everyone. That being said, getting out of the comfort zone requires that there be a little bit of discomfort, or else you'd never want to leave. But without that discomfort, without at least a little bit of discomfort, growth isn't going to happen. Why? Because no matter how comfortable you get, not everything... Wow, I really screwed that one up. Let's try that again. No matter how comfortable you get, nor all the things that you achieve, it remains necessary for there to be some discomfort in your life, because without discomfort, you have no reason or need to grow. It becomes completely unnecessary for you to grow or change if you're comfortable. Without that discomfort, even on the slightest level, you have no impetus for growth, for change, for learning, for any of it. There's no reason for you to grow. There's no reason for you to change. This can be really disconcerting when you realize it. I came across this notion not that long ago, and I really wish I could remember where. I don't remember what I was reading or where I read it, but the notion that was presented to me was that without some discomfort, there is no growth. There is no impetus to change. If you are always comfortable, let's face it, if we were always comfortable, we'd still be living in caves. We'd still be hunting probably mammoth, because we wouldn't have hunted them to extinction necessarily. Who knows? But we wouldn't be living this world that we live in with this amazing technology and these fantastic resources and the ability to communicate with one another across the globe. For all I know, you're watching this on the other side of the world. If you're watching this or listening to this at all, for all I know, you could be driving across the country. There are all sorts of amazing things that you can be doing right now as you hear me say these words that you couldn't have done if somebody hadn't been uncomfortable and used that discomfort to create something new. Another important aspect of this is that life is impermanent. This is a huge tenet of both Buddhism and humanism. And the more I learn about these things, the more I'm really feeling it in my bones as being the truth. This is the way these things work. Life is impermanent. Even the most lasting things don't last. They end. You are going to die. I know, it's not a very nice thing to say, but it's the truth. I'm going to die someday. We all are. The world is made of cycle. Everything comes and goes. Nothing's permanent, and I mean nothing. Tectonic plates are throwing rocks all over the place. Volcanoes spew new islands into the middle of the ocean. There are winds that knock down trees and forests and, buildings and do all kinds of destruction. Nothing is permanent. Once you accept that nothing is permanent, you can begin to look at the fact that change is a constant. And that constancy of change is something that you can either resist or embrace. Now, it's important to clarify this. When I talk about resisting change in this manner, I'm talking about the people who don't accept that change is going to happen and progress is a part of change. I'm pretty much speaking to white supremacists on this notion. The people who believe in a past that never actually existed. The people who don't accept that the world is not what they think it is. This is a tough one for some people because they believe that the world is a certain way. And more often than not, what they believe is not true. And it's based in something that is, I don't know how to explain it. It's bizarre because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I understand where this comes from because I've sometimes resisted change myself, but resisting change is not being willing to accept that things change usually for the better. And what ends up happening is there are forces that will align to tell you that that change is what's ruining your life and that you need it to be the way it was. More often than not, this is a bullshit thing. It's a lie. It's not the truth. More often than not, these things are not the issue. Change is going to happen, and you basically have three choices when it comes to change. The first choice is to simply let it happen. Change is change. It's going to happen. You can do nothing about it. The second choice is to totally stand against it, resist it, and not let change happen to you, around you, or through you. And more often than not, this kind of resistance is just not going to last. It's going to get worn down because change has happened. The third way is to go with the change. Now, this type of way of being, this third way, is more about accepting that change happens, but not necessarily liking it. It's working with the change to change it. Politics works this way in a lot of respects. If you don't like the picture, you can work to shift it, to change it. That's why you resist. That's why you attend protests and call your politicians and vote in the damned elections. Stuff like that. That is a form of resistance to change that doesn't resist change. You are trying to ride with it instead of just letting it carry you. You're swimming, not floating. It's really what the difference is here. These things that happen way outside of your consciousness, way outside of your life, which is what most people focus on when we talk about change, are exactly that, way outside of your life. You have zero control over most of this stuff. What you do have complete and total control over is your life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you are living your life, and you have a choice. You can decide to practice mindfulness and work to be conscious of the now. And by doing that, you become aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. This is a conscious choice, and this is something that a lot of people don't entirely understand. It's completely in your power. Nobody but you is inside your own head. Nobody. You're it. There's nobody else in there. People can say and do things that will influence how you think and how you feel. However, it's just influence. You choose to hold on to it. You choose to use it or not. That's what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is taking a hold of the subconscious crap that gets dumped into your brain sorting it and deciding what is yours and what's not. You can toss out the stuff you don't want to use. And believe me, there's a lot of stuff in there that you probably want to toss out. The older I get, the more I realize that the accumulation of stuff is not necessary. I used to be a lot more of a hoarder. Man, did I have a lot of stuff. Right now, and I'm not going to turn the camera in part because that would take a lot of action and difficulty here. The room that I am recording in right now is full of boxes. Now why? Because all of the Star Wars things that I have owned all my life have been returned to me from where they were being stored. I don't want to keep this stuff anymore. So if you're listening or you're watching and you have a Star Wars collection and you'd like classic 70s and 90s action figures and toys, some of which are still mint in box, primarily the stuff from the 90s, I'm getting rid of these. Selling. Please make me an offer. Point is, I used to collect this stuff for whatever reason, and I don't want to collect it anymore. I have no need to keep these things. I just don't feel nostalgic about it the way I used to. I still love the Star Wars franchise. I still quote Yoda on a regular basis, but I don't need so much stuff. I have no need for it. And you know what? It's impermanent. I don't need to keep carrying it around with me every time I move. It's insane. So, I've digressed. Let me get back on track here. The whole idea of discomfort, that little bit of discomfort that's good for you, is what sparks change. It's what gets you to move. This is the discomfort that is that nagging sense in the back of your head that things can and should be different, that you want to change something. It might be where you live. It might be your job. It might be your relationship. It can be any number of things, both big and small, tangible and intangible. That's what we're talking about here. Even if your life is made of awesomeness and you've got pretty much everything you could want, chances are you're still going to feel at least some of that minor discomfort because you are still going to change, because that's part of growth. That's part of how we evolve as people. Change is inevitable. And frankly, it can be really super awesome when you see it as really super awesome. Consciousness creates reality. What that means is that when you are conscious of that discomfort that you're feeling, you can make use of it. You can direct and guide change. You can take hold of the things you want to do, and you can see what will bring more growth and evolution and shifting in your life for better, for the good things. And it might impact other people, which can be really awesome. Every little bit counts. When you are in a better place and you are more mindful, that can spread to other people, and it can help to change the entire world for the better. This is not some weird Mary Sue, Pollyanna, pie in the sky, rose-colored glasses notion on my part. This is the way conscious reality creation, the law of attraction, and these things do in fact work. And more importantly, even if it's not, even if that's not entirely the way it works, is it worthwhile to live your life unhappy? Do you want to be displeased? Do you want to be stuck in the same place that's comfortable but not really comfortable? I'm going to guess that no, you probably don't. That's why that little bit of discomfort is healthy. With that little bit of discomfort, you get growth. And if you don't allow yourself to be uncomfortable and grow and change, you are denying the world your best, most authentic, most awesome self. And that, in and of itself, is totally worthwhile. And so are you. Thank you for listening to Awareness for Everyone, a discussion of conscious reality creation and living the best lives we can for ourselves. I want to thank Fee Mahoney. She is the absolutely amazing artist who created my gorgeous cover art. If you'd like to commission work from her, you can contact her at veinsofink2017@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments for me, you can contact me via Facebook at BleehartMJ, on Twitter at MJBleehart, or you can email me at author@mjbleehart.com. titaniumdawn.com. Please take a moment to check out my blogs, The Ramblings of the Titanium Dawn at titaniumdawn.com, or you can read my articles that are posted daily over at medium.com by MJ Bleehart. Thank you, and I hope that you are discovering how conscious reality creation, how awareness... Blue Moon ending, how's that for a good one? Thank you. I hope that you are discovering how mindful awareness is... Well, that's not good. Thank you. And I hope that you are discovering how mindful awareness is something that everyone can practice, including you, to improve your life.